Hello, my name's Scott Collier, and I am the creator and developer of Chaos Rising, which is a solo procedural GM-less OSR style pen and paper game. On a few Devlog videos, we've been talking about combat, but this video I'm going to talk about the phase in which combat sits in, and that is the main phase, which is the expedition phase. So what I'm going to run through quickly is generating the map during the expedition phase, looking at the map tiles, passages v chambers, what are starting chambers, looking at difference between archways and doors, how we trim passages and chambers when we put them on, and the importance of secret doors and how we generate those. So, moving quickly on, these are the map tiles in a big table. These are not the final ones. I hastily put these together, and these are not the final ones. I've been working on those, and on the next video I'll roll those out. But how you generate the map is through a random series of tiles. Other systems do this. There are a D88 tiles, so that would be roll 2d8s, one for the ones, and one for the 10, sorry, and one for the ones, and that way you will get your d88. In that case it would be 37 if that's the 10s and that's the ones. So those are the map tiles. There are, as I say, about 60 odd of those. And then what we have as well is we have the different types of tile. We have corridors, and we have passages, and we have chambers. Passages connect chambers, as you would expect, and chambers are just basically rooms, but the reason I call them chambers is because not all of the maps that are generated in the game will be dungeons. There are caverns and layers and mines, etc. So that terminology covers all that. And what we have is on this tile set, sorry, we have an equal number of corridors and chambers. So that's the sort of difference between passages and chambers. Every map on every map level of the sort of expedition sites starts with a starting chamber. That's where it begins, and they're numbered from 1 to 8. And all you do to generate one of those is you roll a d8, and it'll tell you which one it is. So we'll do that, and what I've done, I've got this sheet here, which this will be part of the game sort of aids, and I will be working on this. And all we do is we pick a side on this to start from, and we'll roll a dice, find the generating chamber. I'm going to start on this end. I can place it wherever I want on this, but I prefer to put it in the center because it makes for a better map. But then again, you might find something different. Totally your choice. So I'm going to roll that. I'm going to roll 3. And then what you do, quite literally, is you will draw this on the map. So what we have there, I'm going to put this here. I'm going to draw that. That icon there is the sort of entrance stairs. And then this is the fun bit if you like this sort of thing, which I do, and that is drawing the maps and copying what's on the page. So that's it. That's the starting area, and I'll mark that down as number 1. So then what you do in the actual game, in the starting area is normally it's actually empty to start with. But what you would do then is select an area to move from, and you would choose an exit to do that. There are 2 types of exit. There is a door and an archway. Archways are classed as always open, and an archway obviously just means there's an exit with no door. and in this starting room there are 2 archways. So what you would do is you select an archway. I'm going to pick this one, and then what I will do is roll D88. I will use that one as the 10s, the black one, and that's 78, and then look at the tile on 78, and that gives me this chamber, this chamber here. As I say, this is not finished. So what I then do is I looked at this one, and then I can rotate this chamber to make it line up from one archway to another archway. So in this instance, no matter which, I can actually rotate this that way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to put it going this way, because this opens it out. I'll put later to denote that's where that ended. Put there, 3 by 3. That's it. That is room number 2. And we carry on like that. There are no doors on this one. There's only one exit, so if we choose to go through that exit, we just rinse and repeat. On that I've got an 86. 86 is actually quite a large room, as I remember. And how I will do this, so because this tile has a door on it, the way that we work this out is that an archway on a tile that you're placing down can go to either an existing door or an existing archway. But a door that is on your map has to be placed on a door. We'll go through it. We'll go through that example next. So I will draw this on. I'll mark that as an archway, and we'll go that one, and that goes 1, 2, 3 in, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then is that right? That's not right. So I've got a rubber end to my pencil. It's always good not to rush these things. 2, 3, 4. 4 at the top. There we go. That's number 3, and the door is here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to decide to go through that door. 68. During the actual game, all these chambers, corridors, rooms, or you would generate the contents of that and play through the contents, and the contents could be a hazard, an obstacle, a event, an encounter, a magical effect, and each one of those has got its own sort of little playthrough procedure to work through. So yeah, what I will do, let me roll these dice, go through that door. I've got 26. Ooh, interesting. So that is an archway. An archway can go to a door. It's got no other exits. 1, 2, 3. And that's number 4. So we'll roll for this chamber. We get 37. Yeah, so we have a corridor. Now this has got a door on it. I can't attach the door to that side. So what I will do is I will go that way. So in this one we're going to introduce the concept of what's called clipping and trimming. So we follow this, it goes down 1, goes across, goes across, goes across 2. So what happens when you bump into another tile, the bits that bump into another tile you don't draw, and any bits that would create the new tile to be in two islands you won't draw either. So in effect this stops there. That is passage 5, and what happens is the edge of an existing tile touches the trim tile. That is a possible secret door, and I'll put that using that. There's reasons for this, and these maps, these tiles are not just randomly put together. These were created in a very strict way of the number of exits, the number of doors, to create what you would call a dungeon loop. That is to avoid the tree effect of a dungeon. And if you can imagine the tree effect, start with one room, and that room has 3 exits, and you go to another room, and that has 3 exits, and then you go to another room, and that has 3 exits, and all of a sudden you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unresolved exits, and you do it again. And what eventually happens is you will get to the end of that, and then to go back to this you have to go through a lot of chambers. So to avoid that tree effect, by creating the tiles the way I did and using the secret door, we can create the possibility of loops. Now this is a possible secret door, not an established one, so you would perform a search in the game, etc., which I'll run through later on. So that is trimming, that's secret doors. What we would do there is, it's actually looped back to the beginning, so I don't have to go all the way back that round. If it turns out to be a secret door, I can then go that way. I rolled a 37. Oh, sorry, that was a previous roll. So I've got a 13. And this. And what we have there is, well, not that, it goes up 3. 1, 2, 3. Goes across. It goes 3 up. That has a door on both ends. I have changed this because that would be a violation of doors cannot go to archways. The top one is kept. The bottom one I removed on the new tile set. And that would be corridor number 6. And effectively what you would do is you repeat that for per level. And then what you would do is, once you eventually run out of areas, or you come to a dead end and there are no other exits to explore, the final one that you explore, for example, imagine this is the one, that would contain a level transition, a staircase down to the next level. And I've worked through some examples on this, and this, I've produced one that had sort of 30 rooms, or 30 areas, sorry, passages and chambers between, at least between 15 and 30. And using the loop system and the way the tiles are doing the secret doors, you get some very good exploration dungeons where you avoid the branching totally. So that's the basic system of the map generator and the map in the exposition phase. There'll be more in the video next time. I'll update these tiles, and we will start looking at the doors, how you would navigate through a door, because doors are just not sat there. They have got traps and they've got alarms potentially and all this type of thing. So thank you very much and happy gaming.